Hi, everyone. My name is Stella Fitzgerald. I'm the vice chair of the Outdoor Dining Working Group. We are just waiting for another member of our working group to join so that we have quorum. The chair, Valerie Della Rosa, is having some power issues, but hopefully she can join us. So we'll just give it another minute. She made it. Hi, Valerie.
Did you guys get started? I can't hear anything.
I could hear you, Valerie. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
So did you start the meeting?
Just opened it up, but that's
Okay,
it.
great. You can continue.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the February 10th, 2026 meeting of the Manhattan Community Board 2 Outdoor Dining Working Group. Like I said, I'm Stella Fitzgerald, vice chair of the working group. Valerie La Rosa is the chair of the working group and the board. We also have Donna Raftery, member of the working group and SLA chair, Carter Booth, member of the working group and former board chair. We have only 6 items on our agenda. I can paste it into the chat. So yeah, only 6 applications. 2 of them are Roadway Cafe applications, and both of them have FDNY waivers or are being reviewed for FDNY waivers. We will go one by one, generally in the order that we have on the agenda here. But if any of the applicants are here, please type your name and application into the chat so that we can prioritize yours. Thank you for coming. We will first, when we open each application, we will first ask for any public testimony on your application. And then we will hear from the applicant if they're here. And we ask for no back and forth between the applicant and the community. All comments should be directed towards the committee. It's optional for all of us to be here. It's optional to take our modifications that you'll hear us talk about. Our opinions are just advisory. Your application does not stop here. It continues the process with DOT. So if you hear us say conditional denial or approval with modifications, just know that we give those recommendations to DOT and they take them from here. Anything I'm missing? Okay. All right, so let's see, we have Cork Wine Bar. Which is, oh, that's already number 1. Perfect. Oh, and Arturo Fernandez just joined as well, member of the working group. Okay, then we have Michael from Crispy Heaven, that's number 5, but we can move that up. And then Little Hen at 155 Bleecker, that's number 6. Okay, so we can go in the order of 1, 5, 6. And then we'll see if any other applicants are here. And then we'll do the rest just in the order 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if someone could promote Natalie Schuyler, or I'm sorry, Natalia, to panelist. And in the meantime, if anybody wants to testify on application number 1, Wines and Vintages, Inc., DBA Cork Wine Bar at 69 Thompson Street for a Roadway Cafe, please raise your hand. Okay, Darlene.
Uh, should I be speaking? It's Darlene Lutz. Oh, great, because now I can't hear you guys.
Yes.
Sorry. Go
Sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
Sorry. Sorry, good evening, committee. Thank you for holding another meeting on outdoor dining. This premise is on Thompson Street between Spring and Broome Street. As you are familiar, Thompson Street is a very, very narrow alleyed street and a very neighborhood street. Any outdoor dining sheds on this street are an impediment to traffic flow. There is a hotel across the street also. It's highly trafficked by pedestrians. Bicycles, there's also a bicycle, shared bicycle lane on Thompson Street. Outdoor roadway setups don't belong on Thompson Street. As to this particular premise, as you can see from the photographs, they had roadway. They also set up in the amenity zone. They set up on the sidewalk. I don't know if they have a sidewalk license, but it's a narrow sidewalk and it's a cluster. So that's what I know from walking in the neighborhood. I don't think it's appropriate to have sidewalk seating or roadway seating on Thompson Street in this location. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Darlene. Anybody else raising their hand? Laura Tenenbaum.
I just really have a question. Looking at the photographs, which I hadn't at before, I see a whole slew of lights going back and forth. Now, I know those are the old photographs, but I thought that that's not legal any longer, that it's not allowed to have that kind of panoply of lights going over the sidewalk. Am I correct?
I'm turning my head this way because I'm looking at the site plan. It's just rotate on my screen. Any lighting has to be at least 14 feet above the sidewalk and 15 feet above the roadway. And it can't be attached to any city property, including street trees. And it has to comply with LPC. Those are the only
Okay.
requirements, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Just wanted that clarification. Sorry for
No,
taking
no,
the time on that.
thanks. Okay, anybody else want to testify? Okay, we can turn to the applicant, Natalia, if you would like to introduce yourself. And if you'd like to make a statement on behalf of the application.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Natalia Shklar. I'm the owner of Cork Wine Bar. It is so about Sidewalk Cafe. I think it's still with DOT. I haven't heard back from them. I have adjusted the seating plan to eliminate one side of the cafe where it's too close to the building entrance. So which leaves me with basically 2 tables on the other side. This application hasn't been finalized by DOT yet. In terms of the roadside, and this is only roadside that we're talking about today, is I had it before, and it's only taken 2 parking spots, so it's not really impeding traffic, and it's as narrow as it's slightly more narrow than the parking spot. So it's not going outside of the parked cars in terms of the size. I know of every restaurant and bar on Thompson Street, besides Piccolo Cucino, who is my neighbors, they have a hydrant right in the middle, so they can't do it. But everyone else last year and years before had outdoor seating on the roadside. And it was, as long as it's in compliance with DOT requirements, I don't think it's really impeding any traffic.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Anyone from the committee want to start with any questions?
Yeah, I just had questions. Can you go over what all the measurements are? Because I'm a little bit confused from the diagram that's provided what the measurements are. It doesn't seem to show them very clearly.
I don't have a diagram in front of me. I'm in my car right now. I didn't make it to the computer. So if, 1 second.
I can share my
Okay.
screen if that would help.
Could you please? Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's rotated though.
It's okay. I'll
Okay.
figure it out. Okay, so the front of my bar is 15 feet. There is a manhole on the side of the road. Yep, right here. So I have to leave foot, I think 16 or 18 inches. It has to be from the manhole. This is where I start the roadside cafe. And therefore it is 13 and a half feet, not 15. And the width of the sidewalk of the roadside cafe is 6.5 feet, because this is what DOT wanted me to make it. They wanted me to make it a little more narrow than the requirement allows. So 6.5 was basically their instruction. And that's, I don't know what else to add regarding the sizing.
So
Yeah.
I guess what I'm confused is when I look at the diagram, because it's very roughly sketched. Does this extend into the front beyond your frontage on what would be the bottom of the page?
No. It ends, so it starts with my frontage, but it ends a little bit before the manhole. My frontage
So-
is 15 feet. The length of the roadside cafe is 13 and a half.
Got it. Okay.
Well, really, it would end like here to line up with the frontage.
Correct. And after that, there is a door to the building, which I'm not in front of it.
Okay,
I'm only in front of my front.
right. Yeah, we may ask you just to clarify that on the diagram, because if the residential entrance is right here, it
Mhm.
would look like it's extending in front.
Okay, just make it clear that it ends there, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And also here,
Mhm.
at the bottom, it still says a width of 8 feet, which could be a little bit confusing because this is 6.5. So if you could just make sure that
Right.
those are the same, that would
Yep.
be helpful.
Is the,
Mhm.
is the manhole cover in front of your premises as well? Because it looks like it is by this diagram.
It is at the side. Yes, it starts before my front, but it goes in front of my front as well.
So then the distance
in-
you need to
Mhm.
leave, it has to also include the manhole cover, not just the 1.5 feet from the manhole cover.
Oh yeah, this is what it is. It does. The measurements are fine. Yeah,
Well,
DOT checked it.
If your bar front is 15 feet and you need to leave 18 inches from the manhole, that brings you down to 13.5 feet. And if you're saying that the manhole is also in front of your premises, it needs to be shorter than 13.5 feet.
I will clarify it on the drawing. Yes, but the measurements are fine. We confirmed it with DOT. They have their own measurements. They know where the manhole is. I might
Okay,
not
well-
be very specific right now because I'm not at the location, but I
Okay, well,
will
the
clarify
drawing
that.
should show where the manhole is accurately in relation to your building frontage so that the clearance is clear, because the way it's drawn right now, the manhole starts at your building frontage and goes however wide a manhole cover is. I don't know that dimension, and then you have 1.5 feet from that, so the measurements don't quite work.
I will make it clear. It works. It's the drawing probably is confusing. I'll make it more
Okay.
clear. I'll
So
submit
what-
a different drawing.
Yeah, an accurate drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so there are a couple other issues that I had questions about that were brought up in the testimony. Just from some of the pictures you've submitted, it looked like there had been seating in the amenity zone. I see that there was advertising that was on the exterior of the Roadway Cafe as well. And it looked like you had
We're
it
we're
looks
talking
like you have
about
your commercial
2000
garbage cans. You know, right, but I'm just are you affirming that you won't be doing that as this moves forward, not having your garbage cans in the street, not using the amenity zone, and also not having commercial advertising on the exterior of the Roadway Cafe?
Yes.
Okay.
And also what Darlene brought up, or that Laura brought up in the testimony about the lights here, are you planning on having those again?
If you would not want me to have it there, I will not have it there. This is not critical.
Okay, I guess it's is it not checked? Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. You don't have it currently checked on the second page.
I do not.
Okay. All right, understood. And then you're not planning on having flooring?
I'm not sure. I might.
Okay. Then I guess we would recommend checking the boxes just in case. What does the committee think? If it's uncertain?
I mean, it should be certain.
Yeah.
I need to.
Again, this is
Mhm.
not on you, Natalia. This is just not a complete and accurate by the agency to us. Because that should be pretty solid at this
But
point.
I think
You
that the
mean
issue with the flooring
solid
though is
application?
the issue with the flooring
Mhm.
is that if there is no flooring, then you have to show how it's accessible. And because it's only 6.5 feet wide, there's not seemingly enough room for an accessibility ramp to go down there. And so,
So
if
it
there
has to
is
be
flooring, it's flush. So you're not, I mean, we're not able to see which one it is. So it would,
No, you're right. Yes, I will have to do the flooring then.
Okay.
And then I will have to check the box on the application.
Right. Okay, thank you. And then there's also a couple boxes under barriers that are not checked, but all of these need to be checked.
Okay, I will check them.
Okay. Does anyone else have any comments or questions? No? Okay, any other questions for us?
No,
Okay. Then great. Thank you so much for coming.
sure.
And
Thank you.
we will write up a list of the modifications we talked about, and you will receive them through the office, through the community board
Okay.
office.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, closing public session on number 1. Moving on, I think we said we were going to do number 5 next. Let me just type a couple things.
Is that the one you're doing, Stella, number 5?
Yeah, number
Okay,
5.
okay.
Sorry, I'm just finished typing.
No,
my
that's
notes
okay.
on
I'm just
number one.
bringing Mike Kelly up.
I'm just typing up the modifications for the other ones.
I promoted Laura.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Michael.
This is the first time I was going to come to the office for an in-person.
Wow, Michael.
Oh, dang.
I had to do it once, but it was canceled.
Very
Wow.
convenient to say that tonight.
You got me, you got me.
Okay, so number 5222 Cassiel LLC, DBA Crispy Heaven at 222 Lafayette Street for a sidewalk cafe. And Laura, you wanted to start with a comment?
Sure. I did send in some written testimony with photographs earlier
Yes.
today. And if you look at what I sent you, you will see that this has been a problematic neighbor, which is really unfortunate, but it has been. Crispy Heaven is around the corner from me, and they make great bread, and I'm a patron there. But they had outdoor sidewalk cafe there without a license for the whole summer. And even though they said and signed a stipulation that they wouldn't have anything outdoors when they applied for their restaurant wine license, they immediately did. And I sent you a photograph of that. I'm concerned about how well, whatever they get allowed to do outside, how well they will abide by the restrictions there, because certainly they didn't abide by the restrictions after they applied for their liquor license. That said, talking about the design itself, it looks in their application as if their premises extend behind the residential door that's about a foot away from their premises, and it looks as if it extends, but it doesn't. It doesn't extend behind it at all. It's at the end of their window is the wall that extends all the way back for the whole restaurant area. It does not go behind the residential door at all. That door is too close. The other aspect is I'm curious as to how they plan to put in a perimeter there, because it's so tight, and what type of perimeter that will be. And the light pole I'm not sure about their measurements. I didn't measure it myself. There's snow out there. It wasn't too pleasant, but I'm not quite sure about those measurements and that it's accurate. That said, if they can have a table or two, that would be fine. Oh, I just wanted to also add that and you can see it in their own, not only in my photographs, but in their others, they often put a beautiful presentation of their breads, but in the wrong place. They had it sometimes against the building. They often had it again on the curb space. And given that the sidewalk grates are right there, it was often very difficult to walk by. Very often, as you can see, there's maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet of pedestrian space to be walking in there with their sandwich boards and their breads and their tables and everything else. I'm just concerned that they're going to continue this once they get the permit. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Does anyone else have their hand up? Pete Davies has his hand up.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I just want to point out the proximity of the tables on the right to the residential entry door, which I think has already been brought up. And just generally, this block of Lafayette, the west side of Lafayette, between Spring and Broome, is somewhat of a dangerous, isn't the right word probably, but it's an obstacle course, because you have restaurant with outdoor provisions, but they don't really line up. So you have this situation where as a pedestrian, you have to weave to avoid various things, and anything you guys can do to get a more uniform setup for whoever gets outdoor dining to whatever degree, that would just really be helpful to the pedestrians on that block. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, doesn't look like it. All right, Michael, do you want to introduce yourself just for the record?
Michael Kelly, representing 222 Cassiel LLC, doing business as Crispy Heaven. I will talk to them about, I don't know if I would take her word for it that they did have tables and chairs out there, but I was unaware of it, but I'll talk to them about that. We will be using stanchions, the 2-inch ones around the cafe. The light pole is about 9 feet, 2 inches away, but it's not in front of the cafe, so we only have to be 8 feet away from it. And I definitely will talk to them about sandwich boards, breads, and anything else out on the sidewalk and how they would impede pedestrians. We'll be leaving it up to the DOT to clarify if that's a primary building entrance. If they deem that so, we're just going to have 3 tables and 6 seats basically in front of where our door is, because we do have a French door that we would use for the service entrance if it happens. And I see where Mr. Heidelbaum was talking about how it would look like the residence or the restaurant is behind a residential walkway. I'll have the architect draw a line through there to clarify that.
All right, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions for Michael?
Mike, I just want to say, they signed stipulations in 2025 that they wouldn't have any outside seating. There wouldn't be any outside seating. So they're going to need to amend that.
Yes. I'll try to take a look at what they presented. I didn't do the wine license for them, but I do
Okay,
see
it
on the
was-
stipulation.
Yeah, it was in April of 2025. Okay.
Yeah, I do have the stipulation.
All right.
Anybody else?
Just quickly, what is the corridor here?
It's a regional. That's why we left it 10 feet. So it's a
And is that measurement, is that 10 feet? Because it's because it looks, when I'm looking at the old plans, the historic plans for here, I see that the measurement from the edge of the subway grate is the same, but the measurement after, I just see different measurements.
what is the width of the sidewalk on the plan you're looking at?
I will tell you, go back, it looks like it's 12 feet. Wait, hold on. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. Let me switch over, sorry.
It's 16.3, right?
3. Yeah, the old plan says 16.3.
Okay. So
What is-
I'll have someone check that, and if it's 16.3, we'll lose 3 inches. So I see we have 16.6 on it. They may have put that little curb cut in.
Yeah, it was the measurement from, I mean, just so you know, it says it's 1 foot 6 inches from the curb, 3 feet for the grates, and then 4 foot 3 inches to the start of the sidewalk cafe, which is what you proposed, right? And then it says that it's 7 foot 6 inches, but it doesn't leave 10 feet. It's more about, it seems like it's a little less, but anyway, it's just discrepancies in the measurements.
I'm guessing 3 inches less. All right, that shouldn't be a problem. They have basically 2 foot tables in there. They can be shortened up.
Mike, how do they get to the seating that's by that residential walk up? I mean,
Right now, the service entrance would be coming out the front door. And we
Right.
have only 2 tables there with a 3 foot gap.
on
so they
that
can
side,
walk
what
in
about the
there.
other side?
We can have 2 barriers, one where they can walk in.
So you're gonna move the, so where the 3 tables are, you're moving the barrier, people come in. And you put the
Or we can
barrier
do that, or
back.
we can
I
We can
mean,
have 2 barriers on that side with an entrance over there. So people can get to the back tables.
yeah. I mean,
You're saying there,
they're supposed to be able to enter, you know, within the Sidewalk Cafe, and once you put the barrier around the Sidewalk Cafe, I don't see how they reach those, you know, if it's only, there's no space between those tables to go in between them to get to the far end. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't know how people enter other than from the sidewalk on the other side.
Yeah, I'll talk to them about removing one of the tables.
Yeah.
okay,
They did receive a summons on September 26th of 2025 for $500 for the restaurant continuing to operate a sidewalk cafe without a license and revocable consent. There was no application on file with DOT. Yeah.
Yeah, they came to me somewhere in the beginning of December. But this was filed on December 23rd.
Yep. Okay. Well, I see why they came to you.
Yeah, that's why I didn't,
Should have been there in the first place, huh?
that's why I didn't doubt the speaker saying that they had it out. I had no idea if they did or not. And now I know they definitely did.
Yeah, it looks like they cleared it up at the hearing on December 29th at 8:30 in the morning. So that's been paid. Anyways, just putting that on the record. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
all right. I think that's it.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice short night.
Thank you. All right, good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so closing the public hearing on number 5, 222 Cassiel LLC, DBA Crispy Heaven at 222 Lafayette Street. And now number 6, LH NYC LLC, DBA Little Hen at 155 Bleecker Street for a roadway application, which has been referred to FDNY for a waiver on its Thompson Street side, not its Bleecker Street side. Is there anyone who would like to testify? Please raise your hand. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone is raising
I
their,
don't see anybody.
oh, one person.
Hey, so just to be clear, we're only looking at the Thompson Street, right? There isn't a Bleecker Street.
That's what I
proposal.
see in our diagram, but we'll verify with the applicant just to confirm that we have the correct.
Hello?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi.
Oh, Pau, you were there, so
Sorry
Yeah,
about
I
that.
let you do it, Pau. Sorry.
Amazing.
Hello.
No worries.
Oh,
This is
Enrique, are
just
you?
my teammate from
Oh,
Little Hen.
okay. Okay, so yeah, since there's no members of the public who'd like to testify, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Stella. I'm Paola, Director of Engagement at Little Hen. Thank you so much for taking the time, to review this plan for our roadside dining. We worked with a company called Reply. They're great. They're experts on designing these outdoor plans for restaurants in New York City. They have tons of experience, know exactly what measurements need to be. They supplied us with this plan. And I'm here to answer, we're here to answer any questions you may have. Yeah, I think we think these measurements should work, and we're here to answer anything that you guys may need.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone want to start with questions or observations? Well, I guess just to confirm, there's no roadway cafes proposed on Bleecker Street,
Yeah,
right?
only on Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
only the ones on the plan.
Yeah, okay. And I see that the width is 5 foot, or I'm sorry, 6 foot 5 inches.
Yes.
Because it's a narrow street.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also noticed that it looks like the leftmost cafe is in front of a gray wall and the neighboring tenancy entry. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, that's just that's still our section. That's just an entrance that we have at the back of the restaurant, but that's still ours. So no need to worry about that. That's still Little Hen.
Okay, that wasn't clear to me, so maybe if you could amend the
Got it.
site plan just to make that known. And I'm just pulling up Google Maps so that everyone can see what it looks like out there. Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
absolutely.
This is an old Google Maps, but let me see, it shows it well.
Oh, sorry about that, Stella. I thought you were talking about the door, the glass door over there.
No, I'm talking about this store. It looks like on the plan.
Got it. No worries.
Yeah.
I believe that should still be fine.
It says
Our
neighboring tenancy entry.
Yes, we got an approval document from our landlord. I can share that with you guys if you need to. But Enrique, do you have any notes on that?
It is Little Hen. It's and thank you and hello everyone. I work with Paula. No, that's Little Hen. That's our where we receive actually merchandise and it's part all the way to the end of the wall is part of the is our premises.
Okay.
So we're not. I mean, what we're suggesting is by no means in front of the other property.
Okay. So maybe this is like a misnomer?
It says neighboring tenant entry. That's actually where we receive our goes downstairs, and that's where because the space we do have all the area underground, so that's where we receive all the merchandise. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think the question is that exclusively yours. That's not a shared entryway, correct?
Well, as far as I know, I haven't seen the other tenant using it.
But they have access to it?
I mean, there's a door on the inside that connect to the other side, but it's always closed. So I mean, strictly they could if they open their door and they run into our space, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's where it says neighboring tenancy entry. It just so that's a shared entry. That's communal. It's not exclusive to.
Right, and again, but I don't have any knowledge that they use it.
Right, but presumably they would be an emergency egress, etc. It's not exclusively yours.
Yeah, that I have to check, of course.
Okay. Does anyone else have any comments? Let me stop sharing so I can check my notes as well.
Do you know, Stella, what the resulting roadway width here is after you?
Yes. Oh, and that brings up another good point is that this roadway cafe is also proposed to be right across from the Red Lions Roadway Cafe. And because this is a narrow street where we would need an FDNY waiver, in what I believe are the only guidelines we have from FDNY from 2024, potentially at this point. Maybe it was 2025. I forget the years. But FDNY said that if 2 roadway cafes are across the street from each other, that they would have to be offset by at least 15 feet. And in this case, that would not be met because they're, back to back. So I'm not sure if DOT considered that, or if FDNY is considering that. Presumably they would be. But to answer your question, Carter, the travel lane would, considering both the Red Line and Little Hen cafes, it would be 13 feet, 1 inch.
Yeah, I just raised that because obviously, as most people know, this was the site of a huge 5-alarm fire, and none of the fire trucks could access the location because the streets were all narrow. There's just no room to maneuver. So, in a huge response like that, there's just no extra room. And this area, all the north-south streets are that narrow. And then Bleecker Street also has roadbed. So this is a very highly commercial area with the very narrow roadways. And so it's not any individual premises and their roadway structures, it's all of them. And I think this is a little bit of an outlier area. So that's why that's a concern to me. And having seen that when that fire was happening, just what that means to the response in the community.
Thanks, Carter. Any other comments or responses?
There's no electrical or anything because this is the South Village Historic District.
Yeah, at least on the application, the lighting boxes are not checked.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But also the furnishing boxes or singular box is not checked either. On the second page, section 3, there's a box for lightweight and easily movable furnishings. Just a small box, small thing. Okay, I think that covers it. Thank you, both for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, have a good night.
Okay,
Good
you
night.
too.
Okay, so closing the public hearing on number 6. Let me just write down another note. Okay. And is there any other applicant here? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So let's just go through the rest. We'll go 3, 4. Oh, 2, 3, 4. And then if anyone from the public would like to testify, we will stop to go through the public testimony, and then if not, we'll just move them into business session. Okay, so number 2, Xandra Hospitality, LLC, DBA Kabin, 300 Spring Street. Would anyone like to testify on this application?
Rain is coming up, I hope. Yep.
Thank you again. I'm on. So Kabin is in a good location for a sidewalk cafe. I believe there's plenty of clearance. The difficulty with this right now is that there is a major construction site right next door to it. That end of Spring Street is completely trashed. I guess that's their problem. I would like to see the tables on the left side that are near the entry door to the space to the building itself where the residents live on the left side. I would like to see those less and more flush with the wall. I think that would be more convenient. you know, this is a very, very active area now with a huge transient population. All you see is luggage being rolled around here. So there should be plenty of sidewalk space for those, for the new temporary residents as they are to, you know, be free. I have no idea what that is. It's not me.
That's me.
Oh, anyway, that is, you know, otherwise I don't see any problem with them having tables outside. There's also a huge city bike stand that runs from practically the corner down in front of Kabin. So there won't be any foot traffic coming across the street to it because, you know, city bike stand. Otherwise, I'm in favor for it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else from the public, or if not, does the working group want to talk about this now, or should we move it to business session? Save our discussion for then. Save it? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay, then moving on, closing the public hearing on number 2. Now we're going number 3, Ha 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 West Village LLC DBA Ha 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 Mexicana, 63 Carmine Street, or Sidewalk Cafe. If anyone would like to testify, please raise your hand. Nope, nobody. Okay.
See anybody?
All right, then we will move that to business session. Okay, closing public hearing on number 3, going to number 4, RH NY Guesthouse, F&B LLC DBA RH NY Guesthouse at 55 Gansevoort Street. And it looks like we have one person, Zach.
Hi, sorry, there was a gap there as I was promoted to panel. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. Should I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Excuse me. Yeah, so the Sidewalk Cafe at the RH Guesthouse has been a problematic situation for the last 5 years. RH Hardware has an unfortunate tendency to ignore rulings that they don't like, both at this location at their and at their showroom across the corner. The cafe is apparently going to remain open all year long. Flooring platforms, sidewalk barriers, and fencing appear to be permanent. They're not things that can be easily removed for a night or even for a couple of months. And based on my understanding, I believe that these structures are subject to approval by the Landmarks Preservation Commission. And indeed, RH Guesthouse did receive approval from LPC for a sidewalk cafe at this location back in June 2020. What they then did a few months after receiving that approval is, instead of building the cafe that they had been approved for, they built a massive, completely enclosed structure, which not only privatized half the sidewalk, but it blocked the facade of the building, which is landmarked, and the whole point of the designation was to allow people to see that landmarked facade. That enclosure was recently removed, literally about a month ago, I think, and a new sidewalk cafe was built within the past 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm assuming that that newly built cafe is supposed to reflect the plan that was submitted to for the hearing tonight. So there are a couple of issues with it. First of all, the plans that were submitted to CB2 shows a width of 6 feet for that sidewalk cafe. I went out and measured it this morning, and in fact, it's 9 foot 2 inches, excuse me, 9 foot 6 inches. It extends 9 foot 6 inches from the facade into the sidewalk. Second of all, the sidewalk cafe that RH Guesthouse has built and reflected in the plans sent to the committee reflects an initial design for this cafe that was actually rejected by Landmarks Preservation Commission in January 2020. It was felt to be too obtrusive. LPC said you need to make revisions, and following that, Restoration Hardware came back with a revised, more minimal plan that was accepted in June 2020. But that's not what's been built here. What's been built here is the plan that was explicitly rejected. In addition, the built cafe and the plans show an additional 2 bays of seating that were not present in any of the plans submitted to LPC, and certainly the plan approved by LPC. These are the 2 bays on the east side of the facade. An additional problem with those 2 bays of seating is that they are not in front of the actual restaurant. The space in back, inside the building, in back of those seats, is separated from the restaurant by an entrance corridor. It's walled off. Since there are no windows, I can't tell what's inside there. But neither on the plans that they submitted to this committee, nor from visual inspection, is there a restaurant operating back there. Next, east of the seating on the sidewalk, but part of the sidewalk installation, is a very strange fenced-in area in front of what's supposed to be an access door to stair B. These are permanent. This is permanent metal fencing that's bolted into the flooring. There's no seating there. It's, I don't think, legal as a sidewalk cafe installation, and it's a privatization of a public sidewalk. I don't see how it's legal from any point of view, and again, certainly not approved by landmarks. The entire seating area is built on a raised platform. I am not up to date with the most current regulations from DOT for sidewalk cafe installations, but it's at least my past understanding that you're not supposed to put these things up on a platform. And then lastly, there's a line of rectangular boxes that extends across the roofing, the building facade and the roof, the length of the cafe. My understanding is that those are speakers. They certainly, it's hard to tell exactly what they are, but they appear to be speakers. And of course, if they are speakers, they're not supposed to be there. They're not allowed in an exterior sidewalk cafe. So that's kind of, those are my concerns. I really think it's important that, to the extent that CB2 has any influence here, Restoration Hardware really needs to be held to what the plans that they submitted to LPC and that were approved by LPC. And for once, they actually have to do what they said that what they were doing, were told they should do. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Otherwise, we can save the rest of our discussion business session. Okay. All right. Well, that was the last application of the night. Thank you, Zach. So now we can close the public hearing on number 6. Or I'm sorry, that wasn't even number 6, number 4. Yeah. I'm not sure. My numbers got all mixed up. Okay, but we can go into business session now. Do we want to just go in order? Starting with number 1? Yeah, okay. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, so this was Cork Wine Bar. Okay, and this one would leave a travel lane of 11.5 feet. The modifications that we talked about adjust the discrepancy in the width dimensions, both in the site plan diagram and at the bottom, to 6.5 feet. Indicate on the site plan that the Roadway Cafe will not extend past the storefront in front of the residential entrance. Oh, I forgot to mention they had one more box, but it was just to show that it's a parking space. We talked about the other boxes, flooring boxes, accurately show manhole cover in relation to storefront, so that okay, yep, and then the ADA boilerplate. That was what we talked about. But in the past, we have voted against any roadway application with a referral to FDNY for a waiver.
Yeah, I had posted, in the chat, just the link to the big fire, and I think you can just see, on all these narrow streets, what the problem is. The issue is not one roadway. It's
Mhm.
that when there are many roadways, and that I think is the issue and is the unique condition for us. And that's why I think we've taken, a big issue with these. It's not any of the individual applications, it's all of them, and nobody seems to be looking at these together. And so if you take what a normal response is from the FDNY on any of these narrow streets, how do you get two ladder trucks up in front of there? Yeah, they can push things out of the way and whatever, but it really impedes that first response. And these are all
Mhm.
a lot of older buildings. It's just, to me, it just seems when there's no gaps on some of these streets and nobody's looking at it, that's the problem. It's not any individual application, it's the whole perspective. And that's why I think that memo that we have seen, whether or not, whatever the status is of it, I think that it started to incorporate that. And I think we would be remiss not to ask for that type of overview of these issues. And, particularly if the structures are the shipping container style in the roadway. If it was the style that originally seemed to be what was proposed, that could be easily, dismantled in an emergency or whatever, I think it's a little bit different. But that's when we did a walkthrough with a person who had previously been the head of the outdoor dining unit or whatever his role is with Penny Ringle, he said that those weren't actually permitted, but they seem to be widely used, and they're so permanent. I think we should keep raising that issue. I would feel uncomfortable if we just suddenly stopped raising it.
Yeah. Agree.
And it seems to be that they've said, oh, if you narrow it to 6.5 feet, that somehow removes all the issues. But that's never been explained.
Yeah. Okay, so do we still want to send modifications despite doing a denial? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I had raised in this one, there are a number of issues, and we should just affirm that they said that they wouldn't continue, right? And so that the setup would comply.
No seating and
without
amenities.
the amenity zone, without
No
having
advertising.
advertising, and all the low hanging lights.
Right.
Yeah, furnishing zone, yeah.
Okay. All right, so then all in favor of denial with modifications? Aye.
Aye.
Any?
Aye.
Okay, great. Okay, so now I'm moving to number 2. This was Xandra. Is this? Oh yeah.
Kabin?
Okay. Kabin. Yeah, I said it wrong earlier. Kabin.
I have an update on this one. The two summonses, one in May for $500, which they did pay, for operating a sidewalk cafe without, a license and a revocable consent. That hearing, and this was cleared up on September 8th, 2025. And then a little over a month later in October, they received another summons for operating a sidewalk cafe without a license and revocable consent. And they've since defaulted on that. The hearing for that, the oath hearing, was on January 26, 2026.
Okay.
So I think that should be noted.
Yeah.
I don't know when they applied. I can,
They
it's just at the
applied
beginning, right?
on January 5th of this year.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And we talked about, oh, the clearances.
City bike.
Yeah. The city bike is
Just-
right in front of them.
I was just
Which across the
over
street,
in that, it was just over in that area, but the snow like really throws me off. The snow, it was snow on the ground, so to think about it. So look on the map.
And then something that I noticed was that there's only 8 feet of clearance between the street lamp and the larger portion of the cafe, but that should still be 10 feet because the street lamp is directly in front of the entire cafe. If I'm understanding that requirement correctly. So they would have to adjust the width of that larger bump out part.
Okay. Do we want to say they need to clear up their default thing, or that's not really our thing for enforcement?
I'm
So
not
I
sure.
went into another, the summons that they have it, that they've defaulted on a summons for operating without, they obviously have an application now, so. I guess they can. We can just make a note of it.
Okay.
Yes. Unless the others feel differently.
No.
It is a very detailed plan.
Yeah, I noticed also the primary building entrance, they have a 5-foot diagonal that doesn't, it like.
Yeah, what is that about?
So from my understanding, I think it has to be horizontal, like along the facade, that 5 feet, like it can't be diagonal or vertical. So we can note that.
You know, as someone who's looked at, as we've all looked at hundreds of these, this is probably one of the most soothing looking. I'd say out of the bunch.
Yeah. Okay, so despite the repeated summonses, would we still want to vote approval with modifications?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
And a special shout out about the default.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, okay. We can move on to number 3. West Village, 63 Carmine Street. We didn't have any testimony on this one. And this is a neighborhood corridor, so they have 8 feet to, they labeled their diagram according to the section 2 required clearances. So it looks like it says SOB along the curb, but that is S06 for street tree bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was curious about that.
Yeah, and then they have S11, the little box, which is a parking meter.
Oh.
And they already have outdoor seating. They're open, like they call it patio space. But they're requesting more, but it is steps up to the patio.
So it's on 7th Avenue and it's not on Carmine.
Right. It's on
Okay.
7th Avenue.
Which
Next
I
is
recall,
Punto.
right?
Yeah.
And they had also proposed some seating on Carmine, but then they had withdrawn that application because it a number of different issues. I forget specifically what they were. So, and it previously had the seating in a slightly different configuration, I think, on the sidewalk in addition to the patio area.
That was on Carmine Street?
Mm.
Or you're saying that's
On Carmine Street, they withdrew the rule changes. I think would have allowed them a very limited number
tables.
of seats, yeah.
Mhm.
But they had agreed to remove those with the community.
Okay. Um, okay, so my notes, just do they have a ramp for people to go from the patio area to the sidewalk? Assuming that the answer is yes. There's no PBE issues. So I think the only modification would be confirm ADA.
Really interesting. They did have a sidewalk obstruction summons for an advertising display sign on the curb obstructing the pedestrian pathway. This is a 0 visibility area.
Wait, sorry, what was the obstruction?
Sidewalk obstruction.
Okay.
It was under the New York City admin code for sanitation provisions, but it says, I did observe a advertising display sign on the curb obstructing the pedestrian pathway. This is a 0 visibility area. It's like the code, there's no code for that maybe, under outdoor dining. So they've put it in a weird thing. Sorry, I have some background. Just see if I can get this in
That sounds like
check.
an A-frame.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like $50. I'm just saying, I haven't seen that.
Interesting.
That was in. That was.
And
It was
just from my
sanitation, it was
memory,
sanitation enforcement agents who issued that. They type theirs. There's no handwriting on this one. But that's the narrative from the officer. In September, and it's been paid.
and that patio is on grade with the sidewalk. I don't believe that it's raised. That was my memory, and I just went back and looked at an older Google Street View. So the patio is just denoting that it's within the property line, not that it's on something built.
Right, but I think there are steps.
There may be steps into the building, but I don't think that there are steps to the
My screen.
I'm looking at a 2013.
In the photos that they submitted, you can see these steps here. And they're proposing the sidewalk seating
Oh,
here.
I see. Okay. Well, then it's been changed. Then it looks like from what
These
it
steps are
had
new.
been. I believe so.
Okay.
They also had a second oath summons for storage of receptacles. They basically had a dumpster, a 1.5 cubic feet dumpster, 1.5 CU, I'm assuming that's what that is. Dumpster not removed from the public sidewalk when they were opened for business at 11 a.m.
Is that what this is here? Or that's not a dumpster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's what that is.
Yeah.
Maybe because that looks like a set of 3. Maybe it was just one of those.
It looks like one unit to me, but I can't, or it's a
It
structure.
looks
they're
like
in
it's
there.
the sidewalk cafe barrier
Yeah.
in front of 3 garbage cans.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to know anything about that in the modifications or?
Well, I got to get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually I believe that's allowed.
Well, they got
You're
cited
allowed to
for
keep.
it.
I think you're allowed to keep the garbage cans up against the building line now. You don't have to remove them. I'm not sure. That was my understanding. That was one of the issues with the new containerization regulations.
Okay. I mean, they would have to put them someplace else anyway if they're planning on.
Having a sidewalk cafe there, it's not gonna work with
Right.
dumpsters sitting.
Well,
there.
yeah.
But I imagine that they will move that without us having to say so. they won't have a garbage can next to a table, right?
One would think not.
Yeah. Okay, so then our only modification is just to confirm the ADA
Oh, thanks,
access.
Mark.
So all in favor, approve with modifications?
Aye.
Is Arturo still here? Okay, cool.
Aye.
All right, number is this number
RH.
3? Yeah, okay. Yeah, RH NY Guesthouse. I'm seeing what Zach is saying about the eastmost or the rightmost
Mhm.
section, and that's actually what they plan as the ADA section. It's really hard to see on the Google Drive, but if you download the file, you can see that it indicates like an ADA ramp there. But yeah, it's not clear that that's in front of the restaurant. Like it looks
It's-
like that's
yeah.
not restaurant infrastructure
No,
behind
it's
it.
not restaurant infrastructure. I don't know why. I mean, they're saying ADA there.
Because they have the step up to the other ones because
They
they're
have
on a
to
built
step up
platform.
to the other ones. And the other, I mean, there's just so many issues with this. Their drawing shows this Sidewalk Cafe as being 6 feet.
Right.
But to Zach's point, there's no, if you look at the photographs, the Sidewalk Cafe completely covers the diamond plating, which then goes out to 9 feet. And that Zach's measurement essentially lines up with the submitted plans to LPC, the corrected plans to LPC that they had, which has that distance is about 9 feet. So this is not how it's set up now.
Right.
And this is not accurate.
Yep.
So they need to actually do what they have set up. And the platform, LPC, I don't, it's interesting because LPC, from LPC's point of view, when they came, approved the platform. I don't know how that works with DOT because LPC wasn't evaluating it. They were
There was no permanent program.
right, and they weren't evaluating it as the program. They were just evaluating it as a potential, the design. But it does say in their notes that the Sidewalk Cafe decking and solid black painted planters are not fixed to the sidewalk or the building and are easy to remove. And nothing about this structure is easy to remove. It's very built in and solid. And if you look at the photographs that are in the drive.
At what point does something become an enclosed, can something become a new enclosed cafe?
No, they taken down, this was enclosed.
Okay.
They enclosed it. That was in, I believe, July of 2022. So it had to be 2020. I think it was March 2020 or the 4 years before then have been enclosed. So there are no new enclosed sidewalk cafes. I mean, they did leave a 6-inch gap up at the top. The other issues are there are speakers up in the top there, those long things that Zach was questioning if they're speakers. They're speakers.
Okay.
And then they also have, to that, before that area, on the right-hand side, they have a whole bus station or something out there.
Right. Yeah, I saw that in the photo.
And according
to the plan, but yeah,
landmarks, they also, I think the planter boxes with the plants were supposed to be 30 inches high. I didn't go measure to see how high these planter boxes actually are. But what LPC approved had the seating covering the whole diamond plating. That's what LPC approved. But that if they do that, if they come out that far, they're not leaving the 12-foot clear path. So that's why they're submitting a drawing like this, which is nothing like what they're doing.
So do we want to say, like, as a modification, be sure that 3 feet of the diamond plate is exposed, like not covered by the sidewalk cafe?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or that they actually have to only come out the 6 feet, and that includes their planter boxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the space that they have there. So, you know, that means they have to rip up their decking, redo their decking, redo their ramps, all that stuff that they have there that's supposed to be easily removed. And I don't know, you know, this should go, I would think, to LPC for approval, because this is all attached. They have all the electrical conduits, everything attached. I mean, it took 4 years to get the enclosed sidewalk cafe removed, with multiple complaints made to multiple agencies, just for the record, by multiple people.
And then it looks like they also have planter boxes, to the left that like line their entrance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's technically, I don't know if that, I mean, if that's cafe infrastructure, because it's a planter box, they can't have it next to the Siamese connection that's right there.
Right. And they can't have it extend past their sidewalk cafe.
Right, yeah.
I mean, again, some of this LPC
So,
approved.
so if this, let's step back for a second, right?
Yeah.
If this were not LPC, right? If they wouldn't be able to apply to do this on the sidewalk. I don't know why, you know, LPC may be okay with it, but it's not a previously
Right.
existing non-conforming use.
Right.
And so just because LPC has approved this, you know, that the implication is that somehow you can build platforms, right, on sidewalks, and that's not the case in any other areas.
Right.
And so simply having this here, it's not flush with the sidewalk, and there's no, you know, we see this condition in a number of areas where there's sloped sidewalks, and you can't just go and build something. And just because
Right.
you have an LPC permission doesn't mean that the rule, there's no
Waiver.
waiver, but there's no process to take this into account. And if there were a process to take this into account, I think that would be uniformly applied. But this is not a pre-existing non-conforming use that goes back to whatever, you know, some previous time period. So
make it make sense, because it's the public sidewalk. They were allowed to build a platform without a revocable consent, regardless.
No, and this is contemporary, right? This isn't some old condition. There is a previously licensed sidewalk cafe here that did not have a platform in the past. So this is some new condition.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how LPC can grant the approval to build a structure on the sidewalk without
a revocable consent.
Right, and the revocable consent for a sidewalk cafe doesn't give you permission to build.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So this one has a long list of modifications. They have to check an awnings box, remove eastmost or rightmost seating that is not in front of restaurant interior, remove platform, seating should be flush with sidewalk, no step up allowed, remove speakers, remove busing station, confirm that seating and perimeter planter boxes will not extend beyond 6 feet into the sidewalk. 3 feet of the diamond plate should be uncovered, remove the planter boxes that are within 5 feet of the Siamese connection, and the planter boxes along the entrance should not extend beyond 6 foot width of sidewalk cafe.
You know, though, Stella, to the platform point, the diamond cover should be showing everywhere. It's not just remove I mean, there shouldn't be a platform.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's really that the sidewalk
Should-
cafe has to be the 6
Um,
feet and
should
there should be no platform.
be outside of the cafe perimeter, I'll say. Yeah. Did I remove? Yeah, remove platform. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So do we want to approve with modifications?
Oh, really quickly, just for the record, the only summons they had were for FDNY for about $1,800, which were paid for their fire alarm going off 3 times.
There were other summons they received that I put in there.
I went to Oath. This is straight from Oath.
Okay, well,
I'm just looking at Oath.
okay, I look at DOB, they had DOB
Okay.
violations too, which is there. I put it
See
in.
this.
Okay. So do we want to approve with modifications? Or is anyone leaning towards just denying?
Well, I mean, here's the deal. This is in Council District 3, so there is no call up for this. Unfortunately, we're in that election's not going to happen, I think, till the end of April. So I don't know how that works. If it's a denial, it goes to, I guess it's then I don't know. I'm interested what other people have to say. I just kind of want to point that out. Not trying to sway one way or another, but just that in District 3, we are kind of lone rangers here for a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's unfortunate because the proposed plan and their historical, I guess just the way that they've operated doesn't give a lot of confidence. But I do see a way forward. So I don't know how we can thread that needle.
Do they say they have a platform on here or no? They check that they don't have any platforms?
Well, is it complete and accurate?
There's not even there's no boxes
Check
for
box for
platforms
that.
for a sidewalk because
They're not
The
allowed.
rule says you can't have them.
Doesn't
I
have
know,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, personally, I think we should deny it just because we don't have anybody, you know, I mean, the photographs all show a platform.
Well, that would allow at a DOT public hearing for additional comments to be made.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like a denial with modifications would be fine if they can then just present a new plan that's accurate and appropriate.
Yeah, I don't think they're interested in doing that,
No,
which is the issue. That's why they've proposed this in the way that they have. And they feel that they're allowed to have that platform
Right.
and to circumvent the rule. So I think that the pathway forward is not something that they've gone to the full lengths to build that and feel that the rules don't apply to them here because the LPC has approved it, even though, you know, there's not a mechanism for anybody else to build platforms on sidewalks without a revocable consent.
Right.
It's very different from the other scenarios that we have because this is recently constructed.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
to Arturo's point, I think we all want to see a path forward on every application that we receive, right? But it's hard when we can't be met, you know, to get some of it cleared up or just there's so much to talk about this one. And while no one's required to be here, and we certainly don't make decisions based on someone's lack of appearance, but there are a lot of outstanding questions we could have gotten answers to.
Yeah.
And they actually show the platform in the drawing. I mean, it says step up
Yeah,
and it shows the vertical lines, not the diamond plating. So
right. I'm not sure how DOT did not flag that.
Yeah, that's where I don't understand. There's lights behind me. I don't understand why, if the rules say there are no platforms, then again, how did this land on our desk?
Right.
I
Okay.
know that's something Arturo's been saying too for a while, but I know we all feel that way too.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. Okay, so then in this case, denial with still sending modifications. All in
Yep.
favor?
I,
I
Okay. All right. Okay, number 4. Are we in
I
number
was like ready for new business. Okay, yeah.
I know, so
That was a
still
long
2,
one. Yeah.
even though it's only 6. Sorry, guys. Okay, so number 6 is 222 Cassiel LLC Crispy Heaven. The modifications that we talked about, it's mostly just the primary building entrance there. Label it as a PBE, adjust the sidewalk length to comply with the 5 feet. Check the box. Remove any, I don't even know what to call that, what they had. It was like a cart of bread. I don't know. Remove any objects.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me
the
like the
furnishing.
bicycle that like I won't say.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm picturing. And I
yeah.
just again the snow is like completely I was just walked by here. It's my senses are so off in the dark in the snow.
And then I think Donna had a point about, do we want to add like if seating stays next to PBE, remove one table to allow access to those seats? Or, yeah? Okay. And then just ADA boilerplate. Any other thoughts? Okay, so, approve with modifications, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
I,
Okay. Okay, last one. This one is LH. This is Little Hen. And this is a an FDNY waiver one, and it's back to back with the Red Lion.
Uncle Ted's, right?
Yep.
As in the fire. Right.
Yeah. So this one would also be denial. The modifications I have. Oh, and then yeah, the neighboring tenancy entry.
mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why that's just not a service entrance. I feel like did you guys feel like that was a clear answer? I mean, I don't think there was anything. I guess it could be used by both tenants.
Yeah,
Weird.
and
I guess
are
maybe
they
it's
still
fine.
allowed to extend in front of it?
Oh, because we don't know what's behind it.
Well, I think
We don't
that's a
know.
commercial building, right? And
Oh.
that's the issue is
Oh.
that it's a, shared commercial space as opposed to.
So what does that mean for us? Are
I mean, I
they,
think that their plans seem accurate, right? It says that it's a shared entrance, but then they're telling us it's not, but that's what the plans.
But on the roadbed, if your premises is behind the door, which it looks like it is from the diagram, you're allowed to be in front of the door.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they should relabel it as shared entry, shared, or just keep it as it is. Neighboring tenancy entry.
I would think they should label it accurately for whatever it is.
Okay, yeah, relabel
Yeah.
to accurate description.
I mean, it sounds like they use it as well, so it's
Mhm.
it's more like a service entrance or
Yeah.
something.
Okay. Okay, so this, because of the FDNY concerns and general roadway conditions in this area, denial with modifications. Babe?
Yeah,
Or-
I think that we just need to just say that across the street, there's another large
Yeah.
Mhm.
situation. I mean, this is,
A bigger issue.
yeah, and it doesn't seem that there's any planning or coordination. And I think that that's the issue, even though there's concerns raised, we've never heard any resolution
Yeah.
of these. And then just given the high density of roadbed dining in this area, if you recall, when these were fully set up in the past, this is where you were in a tunnel, you
Yeah.
know, going down a street like this. And, you know, if you're riding a bicycle or doing anything else, there's nothing, you know, buildings couldn't be serviced. You couldn't do anything, you know, like a car is driving you down. I mean, it doesn't make much sense, let alone any access from any emergency vehicles. It's a significant workarounds. And while they do have the gaps, what realistically ends up happening in these areas, because it's not enforced, is that they're used for garbage and everything else, which wasn't the intent of those spaces. And in fact, even for this applicant, the previous applicant had built some sort of structure on Bleecker Street so that people couldn't use that space. And then they had garbage, if I remember correctly, garbage and stuff in it. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I have all of that written down here. Okay, so denial with modifications, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's it. Any new business?
What,
You
what did we
application.
received one application yesterday?
It was two.
Oh,
And one is the Sidewalk Cafe for Little Hen.
no.
Yeah.
And the other one was, we did get two? I thought it
Yeah,
said
there were
just
two. I
one.
don't remember.
Oh, one email.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember what the other one.
St. George Coffee, 7th Avenue South. Oh, it's an enclosed sidewalk cafe. Okay, so wait, that's I know we're not hearing this now, but trying to think how I can share. It's on the west side of 7th Avenue South, and it's an existing.
Oh, I can share. I'll share my screen.
Yeah, could you just share that so that everyone could see? It's like right.
So it says here, enclosed cafe does not require site plan form.
But I thought these were gonna have a separate application that came out. I'm just talking out loud.
I think that the issue is that they're built. And we do have all of them from our board. We have the built conditions because they would have supplied those materials in the past. You can see right there,
Mm-hmm.
the DCA is stamped.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that for some reason that the that DOT for like Dining Out NYC had the enclosed. Am I imagining things? I swear.
Well, there was a separate application that they said they would have, and that's what this is, right? That's what this referral is. That is the application.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And then because
I guess it
these
just
are
looked the same to me.
pre-existing, because they're pre-existing, you just have the old plans. The only thing that's going to come up for us as a board is that the evolution of all of these enclosed sidewalk cafes includes removal of a lot of the walls that has happened over time when these were supposed to be standalone with that can be removed. And this one, I think also, if it's the one I'm thinking of, which it looks like it, I think a lot of the walls in here are removed. But if you scroll down to the plans, you'll see that there's a doorway in there, which I don't think is but I could be wrong. I think it's this one, but anyway, that's what's going to come up with these issues. But I think the intent of the program, though, is that these are already existing structures.
oh, that it's the
finite
old
list
plan.
of them.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
well, that's the licensed plan
Got it.
from when it was originally licensed.
I guess I was just expecting it to have like a different cover and say like enclosed sidewalk. I mean, that's what I was envisioning. Clearly my
Well, what does it say at the top?
It doesn't say, it
Like
just
when
looks like
you-
a regular old here. I mean, I thought on the form it would look, say enclosed sidewalk cafe setup, like
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, maybe one of the requests is that, that we ask them to just clearly denote it on the application, right?
Yeah. we
Where does
should
it
on our
say it's
records.
enclosed?
On the plan.
Only here, enclosed cafe
Yeah.
does not require site plan form. That's
Got
the
it.
only place.
Sorry.
It doesn't say it up in that top right
No.
where it says sidewalk cafe, no.
It seems that if that would make sense to add a little more clarity, but
Yeah.
That's why I just talked about it in that roundabout way, like from looking at the photograph. I hadn't gone to the plan yet. So, and then so I just assumed you had pulled up or Carter had pulled up.
what happens if you scroll down? Are there any other? If you
And then the
keep
next
going
page
down
is
to
just
the,
it's not redacted though.
So it doesn't
Oh.
matter about the clear path or like what corridor?
Mm-mm. No.
were there any, there's
there an
no other
info sheet?
notations in the,
Oh, there's the
in the
info
restaurant
sheet.
section? Yeah.
I'll stop sharing so I can look at it. The info sheet, it says enclosed sidewalk cafe eligibility. Eligible, yes. Eligibility as of 10/15/2025.
Okay, it's like just like in the middle of it. It's
Yeah.
not really bolded or anything.
No.
I just scrolled it, so I missed that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I guess that's what they look like. All right. Wow. Groundbreaking.
All right. Any other new business?
Stella, you ran a great meeting.
Thanks. I'm sorry it went so long despite only having 6.
Oh my God, please don't apologize. It's all good.
Under 2 hours though.
Hope everyone's staying warm. It's very cold out there. Even though this today felt like spring,
Yeah, better. Yeah.
but once it got dark, it was not. Okay,
Right,
thanks
motion
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
And thank you everyone who's into the attendees. We appreciate you taking the time this evening.
All right. Bye.
Needing motion to adjourn.
Second.
Great.
Bye.